Hey everyone, Robin Openshaw here. Welcome to the Vibe Show. And today I'm really excited to bring you something brand new. If you've been following me for very long, you know that for 15 years, I've been a huge fan of having an infrared sauna in your home, a wood sauna. I have absolutely loved mine for 15 years. And every year I do a webinar about why I love mine, and I consider it right behind my turbo green smoothie blender to be the most important tool for my health, really. And the first thing I do when I have any symptom coming on, you know how you have that first symptom of fever or body aches or a sore throat, and you're like, oh, I might be getting something. First thing I do is I turn on my sauna. Same thing if it's my husband or one of my kids, and they tell me I don't feel so great, turn the sauna on. And I can't even count how many times I thought I was getting sick, and then I just knocked it down fast by stimulating immune function by getting in my sauna. And some of you may know from my past webinars that there are studies where people collected the sweat that is eliminated in a sauna session, where there's like maybe over 100 different toxins that are eliminated at like 500% or 1,000% more than the sweat you would collect after going for a jog. There's so many cardiovascular benefits on top of those immune benefits. We're not really going to go through all the health benefits because many of you have already heard what I have to say about how powerful a sauna is for your health. But lately, I am very aware that things have been tough out there financially. And while I'd not really looked into a tent sauna, I got one because I had gotten really rave reviews from some of my favorite colleagues, the ones that I think highly of. I don't think highly of everybody in health and wellness. Some of them are more marketer than subject matter expert. And I really can't overemphasize how impressed I am. In fact, this week, Phil, before I introduce Phil, I should mention that it's now monsoon season here in Florida. It's officially hurricane season, and we had like 60-mile-an-hour winds last night. And my new tent sauna was out on my lanai, which is what you call a covered porch, a screened-in porch here in Florida. Had to learn that word when I got here. Didn't even move. The sauna totally withstood 60-mile-an-hour winds, which was pretty impressive. But the biggest thing that really blows my mind about this sauna is that I can turn it on and just get in. And I didn't know that about it. So I don't have to plan ahead for my sauna session. And the other biggest thing is how inexpensive it is. It makes it really affordable. A lot of people have heard what I have to say about a $6,000 sauna, but it's not in the budget. So plus, in addition to the amazing price, that's like 25% of the cost of the wood saunas, at the end, I'm going to give you a coupon code, making it even more affordable. So I love that it's portable. It takes up a lot less space. You can put it in a patio or corner of a room, easier to deal with than the big wood saunas. Still love my big wood infrared sauna, but wow, at our beach house, we have really, really been enjoying it. So with that, I want to introduce you to Phil Wilson, who has been teaching about saunas maybe even longer than me. Welcome, Phil.
Hi, it's great to be on your show, Robin. I've known about you and you're promoting saunas for many years, and I have been promoting green drinks since 1984. I had a company, a health food store, and a health food distributing company, and so I've been pretty progressive, as have you. And so, Green Smoothie Girl I mean, we were selling chlorella, spirulina, green magma, barley grass juice powder, and chlorella all back in the early 80s. So anyway, it's a pleasure.
Well, you were teaching those things to people before I had ears to hear, because I still had my years of getting pharmaceutical injections and being diagnosed with 21 different things and being on 5 different prescription medications and eating nothing but crap while you were out there teaching about chlorella. And I hope this doesn't offend you that I say that you're only a few years younger than my parents, and you're still out there doing your best work. You're super sharp. It's really, really fun to talk to you. This isn't you're in my first conversation. Um, so tell us, what is it like getting in a sauna? You're a master of colorful metaphors and good descriptions. So what's it like getting in a sauna? And you go around to trade shows and show off the relaxed sauna. what's it like, and what's the experience people have when you put people in a sauna for even 10 minutes?
Well, I go to many expos, a lot of doctor shows, and I'll say, well, get in and go in for 5 minutes, and sometimes they won't, but sometimes I can get them in for 10 seconds. And once they go in for 10 seconds, they stay for 5 to 10 minutes, even though they didn't have 2 minutes. But when people are surprised. People don't expect to feel that good in 1 to 2 minutes, or let alone 5 minutes. I know about 15 years ago, I got Dr. Christiane Northrup into the sauna at the Louise Hay conference in Tampa. And she said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe how good it feels in 30 seconds, and my hair doesn't get messed up." And so uh, that's one thing that a lot of women especially like. The a lot of times I try to get people in, and we had Rebecca Harder, for example, wrote the book Gastro Girl, and for 10 years she would just turn her nose up at the relaxed sauna because she had a wooden sauna that she loved. And finally, after 10 years, she got in and she says, "I couldn't believe the difference in 3 minutes." And she now calls it the most therapeutic sauna. I About 15 years ago, I had, in 15 minutes after another, two young women in their early 20s. They both said word for word, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm being hugged by my grandma." And 15 minutes later, the same thing. I've only had that quote, a half a dozen times since, but that's, when you talk about little babies and dogs and kittens, people melt. And so when I say it feels like you've been hugged by your loving grandma, people are willing to say, "Okay, I'm willing to try it." And I like to call this sometimes a spiritual sauna because it brings joy. I experience mental clarity, but in doing expos, I've probably put over 100, 150,000 people in the relaxed sauna. And in 5 to 7 minutes, I can pretty much guarantee that 50% or all of their pain will be gone in 5 to 7 minutes. 98% of the time, that's the case. And it's like, the last couple of shows I've done, it's like, yeah. And people are surprised. They're still surprised. And it's a beautiful experience. I like to say I've seen 20 to 25,000 minor or major miracles. We've also had major miracles. We had a lady in Dallas who was in a wheelchair, and she got in the sauna at the last minute. She went in and she was able to move her arthritis hands. And I taped her for 26 minutes, and she was actually able to put her hair in a bun for the first time in 7 years. Although, it's really wonderful to help people who are ailing to feel better. I got into the health food industry for sort of like the opposite reason. I was a mathematician. I have an honors degree in math and 40 years of graduate school in mathematics, studying the history and philosophy and the foundations of mathematics. So I always wanted to get in for mental clarity, for calming, for relaxing. I did have some interest and experience in the early 70s, and so I got into fasting in 1971. I learned about gotu kola, ginseng, and a lot of the herbal formulas. I was pretty much on a fruitarian diet, like not totally. I've never been, but I was living on figs, dates, and cashews pretty much 80% of my diet for 9 months. And therefore, because I wasn't eating normal foods, I got to practice with a lot of the superfoods, the chlorella, the spirulina, the blue-green algae, reishi mushroom, shiitake mushroom. So I'm into rejuvenating. And a lot of people, when I go to a lot of different festivals, they quote that their heart chakra opened up. They felt warmth. They felt. One lady in New York City said, I solved all my. She ducked her head in, and 8 minutes later, she solved all her mental problems, or not mental problems, but all her problems of the day of living life. She's just got them all resolved. So the relaxed sauna is not just for getting rid of, for helping people get rid of their symptoms of Lyme disease or killing the cancer cells, or but Hippocrates put it this way. He did say find me a way to create sweat. No, not find me a way to create fever and sweat, and I will cure disease. And so basically, when you get into the relaxed sauna, there's a doctor in Tennessee who said that in 25 minutes he can increase white blood cells sevenfold. A man in Austin who's an athletic kind of person who's got an athletic business tells me he can increase body temperature 3.2 degrees in 25 minutes. There's an article on reddit.com where the person was looking at all the research on saunas on PubMed.com. There's probably 60 articles at least talking about, and these saunas use between 2 and 25 microns of wavelength. That's the far infrared ray energy. It was made famous. The far infrared saunas were made famous, as you probably know, by Dr. Sherry Rogers in her book Detoxify or Die. On page 208, she clearly points out that between 4 and 14 micron, that's the specific frequency of light, the wavelength that resonates with the water molecules and the human cells of the body and mammals and birds. So it took the Relaxed Sauna Company 10 years from 1987 to 1997 to fulfill the request of a Japanese company wanting to create a hot springs energy in your home of the places in southern Japan where people would go to and get healed. And so it took them 10 years to figure out how to filter out the near infrared and how to filter out the mid infrared and only give you the far infrared between 4 and 14 microns as recommended by Dr. Sherry Rogers and many others. And that means we cut out the 14 to 25 microns. So this man posted on February 17th or February 2017 on reddit.com saying, cold shower treatments and the relaxed sauna, what an incredible combination. He was so impressed with all the research and all the wooden saunas. He said, there's a $250 sauna on Amazon. Wow, I'm going to test it and make sure it does what the research did. And he was so very, very disappointed. It only increased body temperature 0.5 degree. The heart rate variability test he performed on it, it totally failed to do what the research says in terms for the heart.
So you're wanting to see heart rate variability, which is kind of a stress test to show how healthy your cardiovascular system is. And the Relax Sauna helps you get that heart rate variability. And I do want to come back to the fact that you said that you have a doctor who's tested people and their temperature went up 3.2 degrees. And I don't know if people realize what a big deal that is, because
they don't have a concept of it.
Well, just to give you all a data point here, you may know that I led retreats in Switzerland, and we did liver detox retreats, and people paid about $5,000 a week. So some people came for 2 weeks, some people came for 3 weeks, and I did this every summer for 10 years before COVID. And then everybody in March of 2020 canceled their thing because they were afraid of the virus, and that was so frustrating to me. And ironically, the doctor who runs that clinic, who studied under Thomas Rao, and she is just the most fantastic doctor I've ever known, and I've known a lot of them. She actually told me about vaccine passports in 2017. She told me about them in 2017, and she said the European Union wants to bring us vaccine passports. But anyway, people go there and they spend more than the cost of this sauna to get one hyperthermia treatment. And you need a rectal thermometer so that the nurse who's overseeing you for a few hours can get you to 3.2 degrees of increase. And it takes me hours doing this procedure. So you have a rectal thermometer, you're on an IV, you have a needle in your arm, you're getting fluids in your arm, there's a nurse monitoring you. So you can just imagine the cha-ching of how much this costs. I guarantee you cannot find a place in the world to do one hyperthermia treatment for the cost of this sauna that raises your blood pressure. In fact, I think we'll cut away here for a minute and we'll show you in less than a minute John turning it on and getting in and telling you his experience. Here, we'll cut away to that. All right, some of you on our podcast may have not seen that because it's more a see thing than a hear thing, but he and I were just so completely amazed that you can, if you need to leave in 30 minutes and you need 10 minutes to get ready, you can literally turn it on and get in and get your sauna session in, drink a glass of water, go to the party feeling fantastic. Not only that, but the dopamine. I've been talking to my children a lot about dopamine. I just read Dopamine Nation, and I also read Andy Grace's book on alcohol, and I bribed my kids to read it. And I texted my youngest son because they're all getting a relaxed sauna for their birthdays. They all have a birthday of 4 children, all born in August. And I've told them, if you have a place for this in their little 1-bedroom apartments, most of them, I'll buy you this sauna. It's totally blowing my mind because you can turn it on and 60 seconds later you're sweating like crazy because these semiconductor chips that create the heat so much faster than the carbon heaters. And I said to my youngest son, because I'm trying to get all of my kids to let go of any substance use and chase dopamine in a different way, right? Like dopamine is as fundamental to our survival as food, air, water. Nobody should be embarrassed that they want to have like purpose in life and they want to have those happy hormones. We all do. But I said to him, have you tried a totally cold shower? Or better yet, I said, when you have this sauna, because he misses the sauna that he was raised with, right? But my kids, they move around, they have a 6-month lease or a 12-month lease. Like it makes no sense for them to have a big wood sauna. And I said to him, have you gotten in a cold shower? I said, because call me crazy. My kids already know I'm crazy. I said, I'll buy 4 bags of ice and dump it in a cold bathtub and I will get in my sauna for 20 minutes. I'm pouring sweat. And when you get out, you might want to wait a couple minutes before getting into the ice bath, but I'll dump 20 pounds of ice in the bath and get in. And I told my son, I'm like, he's like, well, why don't we get a cold plunge? And I'm like, because they're like $8,000 and there are lots of maintenance and whatever. He said, well, what's funny, Mom, is that I've been doing that because I read about what Dr. Huberman has to say about it. All my kids and I are geeking out on Dr. Andrew Huberman on YouTube. And he goes, I've been getting in just a strict cold shower, nothing hard about that. And he goes, you feel so amazing for a long period. And I said, yeah, I've measured it. And it's like 2 hours of strong dopamine, not like cocaine, 200 dopamine, but like 100, like sex, like chocolate, like ice cream, like your favorite things, dopamine. And so the only thing better than a cold shower or an ice bath is a sauna session. You're sweating out toxins, you're stimulating the immune system, you're dilating all the vessels of your cardiovascular system. And then maybe walk around for a few minutes, towel off, whatever, then at least get in a cold shower. And that took me months to even get my husband to do that. Now he'll get in my ice bath after all the ice melted, after I do 2 sessions in it. Because sometimes I'll get out of the ice bath and back in, especially with the relaxed sauna. Like I don't even leave it on. There's not even any energy being wasted. But anyway, just kind of a fun little tidbit is that I tell my son about cold showers and he's been playing with it too. Because, we all want dopamine and nobody needs to be ashamed of that. I think if we are constantly spiking our dopamine, we might actually, mess up our whole endocrine system for life. Like, that's what drug use will do to people is that normal life doesn't give you enough dopamine. But this is just a much more calm, relaxed state. Whether you do the ice bath or the cold shower or not, the sauna is just so enjoyable. And I have loved having my head out of it and I could see the lot next door and look at the palm trees and I've really enjoyed that instead of being in a little wood box. I mean, I still enjoy that and I like my face sweating. And by the way, you guys, you can stick your head down in. You can unzip it and go down in. And I do if I want to wash my hair afterwards. If I want my face to sweat, you can. That's something I didn't know. But Phil, tell us more about anything else you have to say to finish up what I was saying about a 3.2-degree increase, which is a fever. I mean, people pay big money to get a fever because it burns out aberrant cells. It burns out clusters or growths of infections and viruses and cancer hates it. Cancer hates heat, right? So maybe talk anything more about that I missed, and also share with us what's creating the heat so fast in there. Tell us about the semiconductors.
Gladly. Paul Anderson, Dr. Paul Anderson out of Seattle, he used to teach at Bastyr College for 25 years and now gives seminars of his own. He had a cancer clinic and he would raise body temperature 4.2 degrees in 1 hour while doing IV vitamin C therapy. Their hand would stick out. And he also gave me a little 2-minute video that's at relaxsaunas.com/superior. You could look at that video. He says he can consistently get the body temperature up to 101.5, 101.9, which is from a 98.6, that's 2.9 to 3.3 degrees. The man at reddit.com bought a $500 Amazon sauna after trying out the $250 one. Same results. It was reputed to be great reviews. Half a degree body temperature increase, and the heart rate variability test didn't work. He got the relaxed sauna, and he was, as he was writing up the article, he said, I'm even more impressed with the biometrics. Not only did the relaxed sauna raise body temperature, I think 2.8 degrees for him in that period of time, 2.9 degrees, but the heart rate variability test he performed on it, it didn't do exactly what the research said it did. It exceeded, it did way more in terms of the benefits for the heart. I know the Mayo Clinic recommends, for example, that the wooden saunas sometimes and hot tubs aren't good for heart patients because they don't raise body temperature, but the infrared saunas, including the wooden infrared saunas, will increase body temperature, making it very, very healthy for heart patients. Very, very therapeutic. I think you asked me another question that I haven't answered
Well,
yet.
I was asking about how the semiconductor chips create
Yes.
that heat so quickly, and it's creating the far infrared, right?
Right, exactly. Well, see, again, the semiconductor chip, it's made out of ceramic. And what it does, it filters out the near infrared and the mid infrared and the far infrared that doesn't resonate. Supposedly, this cannot be done. This is, patented, I think, in 1997. It allows only the frequency of energy to go out, and Planck's law says you can't do what they did. So just like Einstein sort of broke Newton's law, this is an extension of Planck's law it can be done. And frankly, we're on a campaign in the next 5-10 years we feel that Dr. Chang in Taiwan deserves the Nobel Prize for the creation of this relaxed far infrared sauna semiconductor chip, because it's a light, it's a healing light. If a snake were in the relaxed sauna, they would say this light is probably 5 times brighter than any other sauna, because it gives you 98% pure far infrared light. And that's why we get the instant effect. It's not the heat inside the sauna that does the healing, it's the resonating light that causes the body temperature to increase. And then Hippocrates would chime in, bingo, now I can cure disease because you've raised body temperature, you've created the fever. And we have found that lowering blood pressure is part of the heart rate variability. Almost anyone who gets in the relaxed sauna will tell us that their blood pressure is getting regulated. People with diabetes have great neuropathy. We have a lady with Lyme disease. For 2.5 years with her Lyme disease came associated a neuropathy. And for 2.5 years, she hadn't been able to have feeling in her fingers and toes. In 12 minutes in the relaxed sauna, she felt tingling. And has a portable sauna she's had for a year that she's used a dozen times and never got that kind of feeling. So she bought one right away. But people with Lyme disease, one man said that 90% of his symptoms went away in 3 weeks. We've got a lot of good results from athletes. The Los Angeles Dodgers bought 3 saunas from us last summer and used them when they won 111 games. We've got a lot of other professional athletes. using the relaxed sauna, getting great results. So it's for the average person, for the enthusiast who wants who meditates and wants to be able to be more tuned in. What I say that the relaxed sauna does, as do all saunas, that especially the relaxed sauna, I noticed, because one lady, she had a wooden sauna for 5 years. She was at a mental health conference. Her husband's a doctor. She came into the relaxed sauna in her bathing suit. And then an hour later, she did a half-hour sweat. She came back an hour later and said, Phil, after 8 to 10 minutes in the relaxed sauna, I experienced the deepest, most profound sense of relaxation I've ever had in my life. I said, oh, wow. and it's because the greater amount of the resonating far infrared light that comes out of the semiconductor chips, I call that the loving light, the more it's going to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. About 3 weeks ago, I was in the sauna and I was just in the right frame of mind, but I felt this gentle prodding pressure getting me into the present moment. That's getting rid of the caffeine, nervous mind, and getting you into the relaxed. And when you get into the moment, you open yourself up to the divine. So I say that the relaxed sauna is a cross between being hugged by your loving grandma, basking in divine love, being in the presence of a being giving you unconditional love, like a great guru or a qigong master, or lying on the beach in Hawaii, or I guess Florida, or wherever, where you just, when you go out into the sun, you close your eyes and you feel that deep penetrating warmth throughout your whole body. That's the far infrared light. And that's the same far infrared light that goes through the sand and resonates with the water in turtle eggs, activating the turtle embryo to grow into a turtle. Otherwise, it would not. The ultraviolet gets the sand hot, gets our skin hot, but it does not penetrate. And far infrared energy, especially from the relaxed sauna, and Dr. Robert O. Young says this. He gave me a 17-minute interview a couple of years ago about how he's been using saunas for 30 years, and he's been using the relaxed sauna for about 8 years, and it's the one he prefers. He calls it the real sauna, and talks about the interstitial fluid and the intermedium and how the toxins get released from the body. But the relaxed sauna oxygenates the body. It lowers blood pressure. It gets rid of inflammation. This is what increasing body temperature does. So I don't say that relaxed sauna does this. I say increasing body temperature does this, and the relaxed sauna increases body temperature. That's we've been able to observe, and we're starting to do a lot of research and finding out that the relaxed sauna compared to other portable saunas also, it does a whole lot more for heart rate variability than any of the other ones. The relaxed sauna is really not a $1,500 sauna. It's a $2,000 sauna, and it's not a $200, $800, $1,100, $500 sauna. It's a $2,000 sauna selling at a bargain of $1,500 online. It truly does do what it says, which relaxes you. I had, about 10 years ago, I was at a conference and I asked one lady how she felt after she got out. And she said, relaxed. Next lady, relaxed. Next lady, relaxed. And I said, oh my God, I can't. That's why they call it the relaxed sauna. Wow. I just never put two and two together.
Well, I'm glad it's so well named. Well, I want to keep this nice and short. And so Phil and I are doing a separate video, which those of you who are fact finders and you want to go deeper, I'm going to run through the kinds of questions that we're going to go through in the Q&A. So you're welcome to join us for that. But I am going to give you a coupon code here in just a second. But if you join us for the Q&A, we're going to talk about why can you not see the far infrared light? You've just heard Phil talk about this light. What exactly is far infrared? And why is it the most important set of wavelengths that actually impart nutrients we don't have, or that most of us are deficient in? What does the research on far infrared saunas say? How does a far infrared sauna differ from the Finnish saunas? Some of you have heard me talk about I think it's getting close to 30 years, this Finnish sauna study has been going on. Incredible health benefits when people use saunas regularly, like the folks in Finland do. They have more saunas there than they have bathrooms. How does far infrared differ from near infrared? Because there are marketers out there saying you need a near infrared sauna, and we will completely debunk that idea. What kind of material is the relaxed sauna made of? Is it dangerous? Honestly, the short version is that's probably what kept me from looking at it, but I've been very impressed. Hopefully you saw in the little video that I cut away to less than 60 seconds of John getting in the sauna and showing you how fast he gets in and it heats up. It's totally quilted. I don't smell anything off gassing in it. It's just you're very well protected from any off gassing. We'll talk about EMF because that is a big question. You know, do you want to be trapped in a small space with a bunch of EMF? We will talk about how the technology differs from the technologies of your standard other types of saunas. We will get into how many people purchase it, how long we expect them to last. Do they have a money back guarantee? What's the warranty period? Who are some of the doctors and health professionals that have been recommending the relaxed sauna for many years? And probably some other things like, does a chair come with it? Short answer, yes. How long does it take to ship? One of the best things too is that last year and the year before and the year before that, people were waiting 2 and 4 and 6 months for their sauna, and your sauna will ship very, very quickly. I think I got mine in 3 days. Do you ship to other countries? So we'll go through all of that. But I just want to say, as we wrap up here and invite you into the Q&A, so with the coupon code GSG in all caps, that's GSG for Green Smoothie Girl, you can get $100 off the sauna. So it's a $2,000 sauna that Phil is making available to you for $1,500, but use the coupon code GSG for another $100 off, and then it's only $1,400. So very exciting that now all the benefits of sauna use are available for literally 20% of the cost of the wood structures. Anything you want to say in closing that we didn't get to, Phil?
The relaxed sauna brings joy. It's like you said, it starts in 30 seconds, not 30 minutes. A lot of people like that a lot. And usually in 8 minutes, I'm sweating. In 15 minutes, I'm drenched. In 20 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm dripping. In 20 minutes, I'm drenched. And then a lot of people find that they sleep better. It's good for getting rid of pain. It's just a wonderful sauna experience. And people love the portability. It actually fits in the suitcase. It's the only portable sauna that can actually fit in the suitcase. And as you said, the chair comes with it. That doesn't fit in the suitcase. It's 18 pounds. The tent's 4 pounds. The chair is 10 pounds, and the radiator is 14 pounds, which aren't showing, but maybe you'll be posting what the radiators look like that were invented. And it did win an award in 1998 at some kind of Pittsburgh inventing convention. But people are very satisfied. They fall in love with it. And it improves the quality of their life. It tunes them in. I like to say it's like truth serum. It gets you connected to who you are, and it's a beautiful experience. And I've been doing it almost every day for 20 years. It's a lot of years.
Well, we all want to be like you when we get to the age of my parents. My dad is also a role model to me, still jogging 6 miles a day, 6 days a week. So I don't necessarily want to live till I'm 200, but I do want to go out like a light switch, not on a dimmer bulb. So this is a key tool to being able to use you to be able to do that. So Phil Wilson, thank you so much for your wisdom, sir. And everyone, go ahead and get in on the deal if now is the right time and this is the right price to get all the benefits of infrared sauna. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.